again, you're watching Everard Junction, and today is part 9 of the Building a Model Railway series. And in this part I'm going to turn my attention towards the actual sidings for the carriages. So I've been busy preparing some plasticard. This is 1mm thick plasticard sheet, which I've cut into the appropriate widths so that I can fill this area. This will be the main sort of storage area, and it'll also have a shed on top of the hard standing you see here. So there'll be the shed will start about here, and at least to begin with it's going to finish here, but it may go further on. We'll see how it goes. In the past, when I've done areas like this, I've used filler to create the concrete effect, and it does indeed work very well. However, this area is huge. It's too big really to do that. I'd go through quite a lot of filler, so I've gone for the plasticard approach, and so far it's looking great. So I've been doing a lot of research on carriage sidings over the course of building this area up. Clapham Junction has quite an impressive shed, or at least it did, and I've been using that as a lot of reference material. So this will be sort of loosely based on that. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to scratch build or kit bash the shed. There is a kit that I can cannibalise and will offer quite a few parts, but I do like the idea of building one completely from scratch, so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I now know where the concrete areas are going to be. I'm going to leave the areas here ballasted, very fine ballast for drainage, which you do see in quite a lot of the photographs of sidings of this type. The centres are not concreted, so I'll be keeping it like that. I can bring the ballast up to here. I've tested all the magnets again, I'm happy they're working. So I can get this area sort of ballasted, then I can start painting and dealing with the concrete areas themselves. It's all just loose at the moment, so I can take it off and paint it. Over here, where the sort of cleaning and the maintenance will be done, I've got to cut all the plasticard for walkways and bits and pieces, and I've also got to then do the same as I'm doing over here and work out where the ballast is going to go. Okay, I've been very busy painting, cutting, measuring again, more cutting and painting, getting all of the plasticard the right shape and the right sort of beige colour. Before we take a look at that, just very quickly, I managed to actually get the trains running again. You remember I had to sever the main lines over there, so they've now been reconnected in previous episodes, and I finally got around to clearing up any additional wiring and clearing up the track. Always nice to get the trains running again. Main reason I did that was because I picked up a couple of new arrivals. This is a Bachmann Class 47. I've been on the lookout for a while. I ummed and ahed about buying it when it was available in the shops. Then a couple of pre-owned examples came up a few years later. Thought about buying those and never did. And then I just managed to source one on eBay. This is 47474, which is painted in the British Rail parcels sector livery. It goes very nice with the BR Mark 1 mail coaches I've got. Also picked up another Class 08 shunter, which will be useful in the carriage sidings. This is painted in the rather attractive Network South East livery, and this was originally, I think, a limited edition run by Bachmann for a model shop of some description. Don't know which shop it was commissioned for, but they didn't make that many of them, and it came out a little while ago now. I managed to find one that was for sale on eBay, and I picked it up for about £47, so an absolute steal when you consider that a brand new 08 from Bachmann is going to set you back the best part of 90 quid. So very happy with that purchase. Okay, so back to the carriage sidings, and I've also cut up some plasticard to fill in the walkway that traverses the pointwork, so that workers can walk safely up and down the length of the sidings, servicing them and doing things with the various carriages that are parked in this location. I decided to brush paint it over spraying it, just because I wanted to get some sort of varied type of effect and try and give it a little bit of age. So it's had probably somewhere in the region of 7 to 8 coats of acrylic paint. It's just been mixed up using a mixture of black and white and sort of concrete type colour, until I got a grade that I was happy with, and then I brush painted it on in, as I say, 7 or 8 separate coats to get a nice depth of colour in there. And it just varies it a little bit. Nothing wrong with spraying it. If you want to spray it, go ahead, but I thought I'd try this, see what the effect comes out like, because sometimes when you spray something, particularly a large flat area, can look a little bit too uniform. I've also completed the ballasting, same method as usual, just being careful. It's now all dry, and it will also get a further application of weathering. To get the edges up to the correct height, I've used some matchsticks. You can see them running along there. It's 2 matchsticks in height, just glued in a long run, and then that has all been glued to the baseboard using some track pins just to keep them spaced and in the right place while the glue dries. And it's looking good. Happy with that. Also completed the ballasting in this area now. You can see I've left a sort of gap where it's a bit more bare, which will have some nice weeds and overgrown stuff going on in there. That'll be done in the later part. But we're getting there. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is progressing on doing the same sort of thing I've done here, cutting the plasticard and getting it set up over there. And there won't be quite as much of it, and there'll be mostly walkways for cleaning and maintenance of the carriages. Okay, I've been busy doing yet even more cutting, measuring, gluing, measuring again, and a hell of a lot of painting. And I've now got the decks mostly installed now for the servicing of the carriages. I still need to get a little bit in over here to bridge the gap across the track, but on the whole it's looking good. Quite happy with it. Again, it's all been ballasted. Tried to keep it reasonably neat. It will obviously all get weathered later on, but it is looking quite good. Once the paint is dry, I'll get some carriages in here, have a look at things, and make any extra changes that I need to do. Okay, so that concludes this part. I didn't bother filming too much of it because making these is extremely repetitive and very dull, and has probably been the most boring bit on this new section so far. However, the next section will be quite a little bit more fun. So in the next part I'm going to be starting to work on the scenery, on the green stuff, and getting some of the landscape in place. At the moment everything is very flat, and although most of it should be flat, it would be nice to try and create a little bit of variation in the terrain and make some nicer sort of natural stuff, just to break things up a little bit. That'll mostly be along here. One of the reasons why I curved the track in this way was to create a sort of little embankment up here, not very high, but again, just to try and vary things, make things look a little bit more interesting. I'll be doing the same sort of thing over here, so I'm looking forward to getting starting on that. It's one of my favourite parts of the job, is building the terrain and the scenery. and it will make a nice change from doing all these flat bits of hard standing. And although they look good, it was very tedious making all of that lot. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back soon with the next one.